Hear me. A lot of travel, a lot of fuel, a lot of responsibility. But there's a reason why I'm putting this out because, as I've echoed time and time again, you got to make a decision to be present in your life. There's no excuse. You got to be all in because that is one of the proverbial keys that's needed for you to unlock your dreams. I'm talking about manifesting, family. And I took a second to reflect on everything that's transpired just since the beginning of the new year. We're only 10 days in, and I'm seeing the spiritual seeds that were planted. Because no matter what your denomination is, no matter what your doctrine is, the one thing that we can all agree is the Most High. He searches your heart. And what is found in your heart makes your reality. That is why we know it as karma. That's why we know it as blessings. That's why we see affinities, synchronicities, and all the things that all the things that require us to stop, take note, and acknowledge. Because these are the things that make your reality. Think about it. So today, started my day very, very early, and I had to take care of some things that required me to do some serious time management. And that, I had to worry about the logistics of what I had to do. And then from there, I had to transition. And all the while, I stayed vigilant and focused on my task. So you're saying, well, why are you bringing that up? Because if you haven't realized it yet, whatever your focal point is will not be ready, but you will always see nuances. You'll always see little spiritual breadcrumbs saying, hey, you're on point or you're off the mark. Why? Because this is what's connected to your destiny. These are things that are connected to your spirit. And that's why this is what also unlocks your legacy. Sooner or later, we all have to do the work. Granted, there'll be countless people that will come into your life and they'll inspire you. Some will distract you. Then there are some that will show you and then release. And what I mean by that is, those are the people that are going to be the validation that you're on point. Those are going to be the same people that are going to say, you need this. And then once, whatever the information is, whatever the visual aid is, once they know that you have received it, you got to do the work. But this is what also ushers in change. This is what defines growth. This is what is found that makes your inner strength. Now, there are going to be countless people that are going to make the decision to do what they've been doing the last 6 months, unfortunately the last 6 years, the last 6 days, because they have found a niche, they've found a comfort zone in that, and it's not threatening. But anything that is not threatening causes you to become sedimentary. So you got to ask yourself, how much is your time worth? Because when you see the value of your time, you'll see how precious it really is. So today, I'm ripping and running. I'm going where I need to be at. I'm being accounted for. And in turn, things that I had invested in, starting off with a thought. Because you got to think about this, family. You can't have a behavior without first it being a thought. Even if it's impulse, you got to first have it be planted here. So you got to ask yourself, what's the influence? Where did that come from? What did you see? What was said? And then you have to weigh the worth of it. Now you got to understand, there are countless people that want nothing more but to keep you stuck. They prefer that. They prefer that because then you're not a threat. You're not a risk. But on the flip side, you're not a commodity either. No one's going to invest in you because you don't take your life serious. And that is something that 2020 is going to show. There's going to be a lot of people, family, that they're going to have their wake-up call. They're going to look at what's important compared to what was distracted. And they're going to have to assess, and they're going to see the things that make them happy too. And that can be daunting for a lot of people because at the end of the day, we're talking about your self-worth. If you don't know who you are, how are you going to understand where you're going? Or better yet, the people that you allow access to your life. If you don't see value in your life, you can't expect your friends to. That's why misery loves company. Because if they're not growing, guess what? You ain't going either. Because you're wasting your time. But your true friends, they're going to tell you what you need. They're going to be the example too. Even if they don't get to see you make it through the end. Because they genuinely have your best interest. The people that just want to distract you, they don't care. Because they'll be doing the same thing they were doing because they can get away with it. So at the end of the day, I'm standing in the airport waiting on a loved one to show up. And while I was walking around here waiting, because aircraft come in when they come in, and sometimes they're delayed. And the one epiphany I got out of it, just standing around, this is a focal point. You got people from all walks of life, all coming in various times of the day, because either it may be because of emotional reasons such as family or business. They're brought here. But guess what? You have to look at your life the same way. Look at where you're going. Look at where you've been. Take stock on your time. Because that's your greatest commodity, is your time. Now, we're in the beginning of 2020. And I've had people ask me about, well, you always talk about manifesting, but how can I properly manifest? It's quite simple. You have to be transparent with yourself. That means you have to be vulnerable to look at the things that you're afraid of. You realize how many people walk around on this planet that choose not to hear their own voice? They're afraid. They're afraid. And you see it in their behavior, time and time again. And then you wonder why they're misunderstood, because they don't understand themselves. So you have to look at it. What is more important to you? Being validated or having a foundation that is tied to your name? And this is something that you have to be honest with yourself about. Only you knew, because guess what? What's at stake is your dreams. It's your dreams. That's what matters most. That's something that you can't put a price on. But if you don't see the investment, you're not going to yield the harvest that comes with it. That means you got to roll up your sleeve. You got to put in your work. You have to manage your time, and you got to be very, very committed to whatever that is. If you're not willing to do that, you might as well stop fooling yourself, because it's not going to come. And that's where you hear about karma, because that's how karma plays out. The longer you take to take yourself serious is the longer it takes for you to claim your legacy. So I'm sitting in here, I'm standing waiting for my loved one to show up, and it made me think. I said, man, you've got people from all over, and guess what? They had to make a decision to commit to what they had to do. So when you look at your life, if you don't see the importance in it, forget about your future, because you will never claim it. That's real talk. So, from me to you, stay prayed up, be honest with yourself, and it's okay to say goodbye to those people that have been holding you back. But your greatest nemesis is the person in the mirror, because that should have been the person you should have been running to all along. Be blessed. Peace.